Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's the World Cyber Arena 2014.
Navi,
that's right.
turn to bat.
Nearly $500,000 of a cash prize pool up for grabs here, hosted in China LAN. Right now, it's going to be LGD Gaming going against Navi US. The first match here for the lower bracket opener in the first round. And Beyond the Summits bringing you the coverage. I am Coddle Guy, but joining me, a comrade in crime, a man I'm most familiar being with right now. It's Mr. Travis Bueno. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. You know, some late night data action for us here over on the East Coast. Very excited to see LGD versus Navi. And honestly, these are two teams that, obviously Navi, big fan base. They've played really well in the past couple of weeks. But LGD Gaming, I think the dark horse here, they're a team that not many people are expecting to come out and play strong. They had a pretty close series against Cloud9. I'm very excited to see what Siler and company can do here in this best-of-3 series as we get underway into the draft, my friend.
Absolutely. I noticed I said Navi US there. It's a late night, and I can't even imagine how you're feeling over there on the East Coast, nearly like 4 in the morning or whatever. But let's just pretend that never happened and roll on through this one as the draft opens up. We get one of the most priority platinum pickups to lead things off. It's going to be the Death Prophet. And, man, she can be a real bitch in some of these games, if I tell you what, Mott. Being able to do serious damage with that exorcism time and time again, these teams are just able to either control this hero or just ban it outright. And it was even Fear himself in the last series who said that Death Prophet and Terrorblade are probably the number 1, number 2 right now in 6.82. And, well, there it is. As Death Prophet your first pick, Terrorblade and Naga. I mean, we're tired of seeing her as well, just really prolonging these games. Alliance had a fantastic long stretch game earlier, playing it precision Dota. May not be the most entertaining Dota, but they definitely got the W with it. So,
yeah, it's just one of those heroes that's so frustrating to deal with. You could try to shut her down all you'd like, but when it comes down to it, she can just absolutely destroy in the late game. But not going to be in the game, and I agree with you completely. And I obviously Fear is, I think, absolutely correct. Death Prophet right up there, and they didn't do much to change her in the last patch. They just said, okay, we're going to increase her ultimate. The cooldown's a bit longer, but that's about it. She's still the same hero that's just as good as she was in the last patch. And the thing for me as well is that a lot of people talk about her in pushing and just taking down towers, but Beatas and I talked about this a bit the other day, and this hero is less of a pusher and more of a team fighter. When you get your level 3 ultimate, man, it's on. People are going to die. Those spirits are going to go to town, and it's something you have to deal with here. Especially if you're Navi, although they do have Nature's Prophet, which Phonic is very comfortable on, and a Crystal main pickup.
Yeah,
very interesting.
I don't know what world I'm living in right now. I don't know if this is Dota from like a year ago, but Crystal Maiden, last time I saw this picked up, and it was a second pick as well, it was disastrous. This hero really got nerfed down a little ways back, and they're trying to slowly raise her back into like a new shining light, but it's been a bit iffy. Yeah, she can provide an immense amount of mana for her team and has still great lockdown, of course, with the freeze, but the problem is she's just so damn slow, and she doesn't really offer a whole lot, and there's just plenty of other supports out there who can do her job, and maybe even better. But apparently Navi, they got something up their sleeves here, and they're going to reserve it as a second pick, and the Nature's Prophet, who I imagine is going to be their Phonic grab, is going to be their first priority picked up. So interesting stuff. LGD, Centaur Warrunner has quickly become a first-round grab here in the draft, and I've seen it do tremendous work in the hands of newbies Banana, and it's just a force to be reckoned with. You get a Blink Dagger early, and this guy's ready to go to town.
Yeah, this is in July's tried and true hero, and it makes sense. I mean, if you're comfortable on a hero, which many people are with the Centaur Warrunner, why not? You do pretty well in the laning phase as long as you don't have a really bad matchup. You can sit, just leech experience, maybe even get some CS along the way, try to get towards that 15-minute Blink Dagger, or just along those lines, and go from there. With that potential initiation coming out with Stampede to get away from any ganks, and obviously Stampede into an initiation with Stomp, you know, Crypt Swarm, Death Prophet, Exorcism damage. They already have a really good 2-core lineup here. You talked about the Crystal Maiden, man. It's just like, it always feels like she's not in a hurry to get anywhere because of her slow movement speed. She's like, yeah, I'll just walk. It's fine. I'm not going to be a part of this fight.
She's a bit sluggish, but hopefully we can get her moving along. And I'm really curious to see how it's going to work in the hands of a Navi. And just picking up so early, it's really got me curious. I'm excited to see how it's going to work out here. As far as bans go, more of your usually like to say the Brew is going to be banned out. We also got to get rid of that Skywrath Mage and the Ember Spirit here as well. So might be feeling a little bit of the illusion party here on Navi's side. I don't think I'm one to know Havos playing someone like a Spectre, but Spectre's been a primary pickup for a lot of these teams and is still in the pool. Also available in the pool, you got Razor, you got Faceless Void. A lot of those old tried and true heroes are still in there, and I'm curious which team is going to go ahead and nab onto one of them.
It's funny you talk about Spectre too for Havos. This is a hero that he hasn't
Navi's
played a whole
turn
lot
to
of, like,
ban.
I think 6.81, but patches before that, he was known to play Spectre a ton. And in fact, that was one of his heroes. And in fact, he plays all of these really ridiculous heroes. Like, yeah, I'm just going to Venge Carry today. Why not? I'm Havos. I can do whatever I want. So
Yeah.
I think that
10
Spectre
seconds remaining.
it's a possible choice for them, but we'll have to see. And that's the thing that I really like
5
about Havos is
seconds
that his hero
remaining.
pool is so damn big. It just seems to me like he loves to play any hero in the carry position
Reserve
as long
talent.
as he can make it work. We used to see him do a lot of Centaur carry as well. So that's the one thing I love about not only Havos but Navi as well. And especially now that we see tempo controllers like Puck and Quap back into the metagame
Navi's
here with
turn to pick.
6.82B, Denny is going to start thriving, I think, on this patch. And hopefully he'll have a fantastic, patch coming out here in the next couple of months, and
Yeah.
even obviously today.
I want to say that, and I was feeling it as well even yesterday when Fog and I were doing like the Navi newbie matchup. It was looking so awesome from the start for him. We even got to see a bit of a throwback, the Havos gyrocopter, and he was just like, forget it, boys, I'm kamikaze piloting this shit, and I just dove in there and just went
10
balls to the
seconds
wall. And
remaining.
for a while, it looked really awesome, and it was working fantastic. But really, it
5
was just
seconds
newbie. They had a
remaining.
precision draft and just a counter to everything, whether it was the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast
Reserve
that rendered
time.
their Wisp useless, or whether it was the Spectre, who with the Radiance Burn and the Haunt would just prevent any sort of initiation from a blinking Dendy with the Magnus. So they really had an answer for everything, but Navi still were really trying to pull out their old aggressive style. So we'll see if it's something they're going to fall back on here. And look at this pretty one right here. That's right. It's my lady. Everybody hates when I say it, but I got to get my Fedora tip for this one right now, is we're going to probably see some early aggressive movement coming out from this one. Though I have also seen a Havos Marana, just one of those fantastic heroes, could be oh
Yes.
so flexible.
Yeah, that's true. And again, this is the thing about
10
Navi's draft is
seconds
you never know
remaining.
who's going to be playing what generally. The one thing you can count on, like you talked about, is their
5
aggressive
seconds
play style. They
remaining.
don't really like to sit back and they don't like to farm, which is exactly what LGD likes to do. They'll play this 4
Reserve
protect 1
time.
style and make sure Sylar can farm up and get his hero up to as farmed as it can possibly be and start taking fights then. You might see them take fights earlier with Sylar, but it just seems like LGD loves to play this 4 protect 1 style. And with the heroes, with the players that they have on their squad, that's not a huge surprise. We'll have to see if they do pick some, hard carry for Sylar here as we get into the last couple of picks. It's unfortunate that MMY can't get his hands on the Mirana. That's a hero he loves to play in the support role, but,
10
we'll see if
seconds
Navi want to
remaining.
play the support. LGD, they will pick up Rubik here, which Faith plays
Navi's
an excellent
turn
one,
to
so
pick.
Yeah.
good stuff.
Rubik, thrown right in the middle. It's not like there's prime Rubik pickings thus far. You don't got your Enigma Black Holes or your big RPs or your Tidehunter Ravages or Naga Sleeps or what have you, but this can hinder Navi's progression from here on out. You don't want to hand anything over too easy to a said Rubik. If they were even considering, let's say a Bane. Maybe it was going to be a Core Marana and they wanted to do some sort of combo power with a Bane. Now you have to kind of second guess because Fiend's
10
Grip's a little easy to
seconds
hand
remaining.
over, so we'll see, though. This is going to be a bit bewildering to him. LGD, they
5
get rid of that
seconds
Razor who is
remaining.
still available. Still, though, you got a Spectre available in the pool. I know Sylar's loves to play
Reserve
heroes like your
time.
Morphling if you're going to go with that 4 Protect 1, which 4 Protect 1, it's really making a comeback here in this patch. And we're seeing it from Alliance. Alliance is just kind of fallen back into their old tried and true ways. Loda is just hitting creeps all over the place, loving every moment of him. Really getting people to pull out the resident sleepers, but regardless, they're getting the wins. But that's what matters. All that matters is you're getting the Ancient down, and really there's a beauty to the art of that true rat and that true farming capability as Alliance pulls out. And a lot of these teams are going to be like, hey, well, we can kind of fall back maybe on those old 4 Protect 1 styles, and we might see that here. But for LGD, they also already have that Death Prophet, so if they need to also fall on some sort of heavy push, maybe get a Shadow Shaman here, they can do that as well.
Yeah, and say what you want about the split push and the way that Alliance has played Dota for pretty much their entire existence. It wins them games, so that's something that you can't really fault them for. Same can be said of pretty much all the teams in the current metagame. Navi will pick up the puck here, and this is exciting. I mean, this is going to be Dendy probably on the puck, which we've seen a little bit recently, but not to the extent that I really want it to be at.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to see him play, again, this tempo controller mid, somebody that can win your matchup mid, start roaming and gank it early on, getting a Blink Dagger, Dream Coil is crazy for
10
days.
seconds
And hopefully they
remaining.
can get something done with that. So
Yeah, your Quaps and your Pucks are those heroes that
5
we used to
seconds
see in the old
remaining.
tried and true mid one-on-one days where you can really flash off your skill set and not really resort to your
Reserve
old standard
time.
like Death Prophets, Dragon Knights, maybe even a Naga in the mid or what have you, where where you're going more core-oriented. This is more that flashy style. Be able to control, like you said, the tempo, but also be able to grab a hold of those runes using that heavy mobility. And maybe once you get a hold of that level 6 in Dream Coil, you add pressure elsewhere. And maybe, try to take down those late precious carries that we're trying to farm up nice and early. For LGD, I like this spicy grab right here. Look at this guy. He's ugly, but he gets the job done as far as pushing towers. It's Leshrek, and I'm liking it a lot. You put that together with Death Prophet, and towers are going to melt like nothing.
LGD, one of my favorite heroes, I think, of all time. This guy, the feeling of hitting a Split Earth without setup is pretty fantastic. And the feeling of taking down towers like crazy with your Edict is even better as well. So if they want to pressure towers, they absolutely can. You talked about the Rasta before this last pick came out. This functions in the same vein. He doesn't take as long to get up because you don't need to get level 6 to start taking down towers, and he can still pump out the burst damage that Rasta can as well. Later on in the game, if he doesn't really snowball and get some items as well as his levels, he kind of has a rough time. But, if you take down those towers, that shouldn't be an issue. So if LGD want to go for having pushy style, they can. They can also still pick another, core, like a carry, a hard carry that can, transition later on into the game, and they can just have these 4 heroes roam around the map and get kills and get towers, and I think that really functions well for LGD. Plus, it's also very good in a defensive type of lineup. If Navi's putting the pressure on, if they're TPing the Nature's Prophet, you Split Earth where he's TPing into, you telekinesis the Furion, you catch out the Mirana, you're in an okay position where you can stave off all of this aggression from Navi, so I think it's a good choice here from LGD Gaming.
Yep, and as the final bans go out, it's LGD thinking that the host is here to come up and get rid of that anti-mage, that precious farming anti-mage we used to come to love, the anti-fun, if you will. And for Navi, they're feeling like it's not going to be a mid-lane Death Prophet, or at least they just don't want anything to do with the Dragon Knight. They get rid of even that extra pushing assault power of that Dragon form and heavy sustain and real tankiness that he could bring to the table. So, more than likely, this could be a farming hero. And, like I said before, Morphling, Spectre, who's a big popular pickup in this recent patch, is also still in the pool, so we'll keep a lookout for that. Navi, though, have inherited quite the bluish hue, and Slark can fit that very nicely here, and he is quite the snowball hero, and this is also, I would imagine, a Havos hero. Not that true late game that you come to know, but this is a hero where you get him a couple of kills, and you can dive like crazy in true aggressive Havos style and begin to snowball out of control.
And once you get a couple of kills, you get some Essence Shift procs, and obviously you get a couple of items like a Blink Dagger, maybe even into a Scotty. It becomes very difficult to deal with. Yeah, he's not your true late game hero that we talk about, but he certainly can do well into the mid to late game. One hero I'd like to see out of LGD Gaming, I don't think it's going to happen, is going to be a Clinks. That could take down towers and can be really good in terms of fighting and just farming as well. I don't think we'll see that hero, but it's something I think would be fine. They're going to go for the Faceless Void, though, and it somehow makes its way to the 5th pick.
Yeah.
The value Faceless Void. They went to Walmart to pick this one up, my friend.
Yeah, indeed. And you know what they didn't get is a face along the way, because this guy, jeez. I was thinking about, interesting. Void not picked up yet while you were going at it. I wasn't really listening to you. I was just thinking about Void, apparently. But no, but in all seriousness, I was like, okay, if they do get a Void here, really, what is there to offer from the outside? Yeah, Death Prophet will be there. She could do heavy assault with the Exorcism. That works nicely. Leshrek, interesting. The range on Edict can be a bit iffy as far as trying to get in there, but you do have a reliable stun to either follow it up, and of course the lightning damage is going to be nice. So as far as true synergy, it's not your dream setup of like a Witch Doctor or a Skywrath Mage, but still in the hands of Yao, I'm sure this is going to be a true tempo controller for the game, and really will be able to stop any sort of role Slark is going to want to bring to the table. So here we are, man. We're into this one. It's going to be the first game in a best-of-3 series here between Navi and LGD. And I'll go ahead and lead things off for your Radiant side. We got Navi. It's going to be Havos, indeed, playing that Slark right behind. We got Vanscore. He's decorated in the brand-new snow get-up here on the Mirana. Right behind is Dondo, also known as Dendy. He's going to be playing your Puck. Right behind, we got Funnick. He's playing your Nature's Prophet. And finally, FNG playing your Iced one here with the decorated Ice Crown. Very nice.
I gotta say, this Mirana set, I've never seen this before, but it's really cool.
I was gifted this set. It's quite illustrious. I really do dig it.
It really is. Yeah, I tip my hat to the Mirana Vanscore here. On the other side of things, for LGD, of course, your Chinese squad. Faith gonna be pulling the Leshrek. Sylar on your Death Prophet. They're all just trying to take down this portrait. No, he will go down. 14 gold going to MMY. That's gonna be your Rubik. Yao playing your Faceless Void. And to round it all out, it is going to be in July playing your off-lane Centaur Warrunner. More than likely, he's heading down there now. So, yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case.
So we're going to see the lanes form. Neither team really getting too aggressive, just more of those Treants taking in the extra information, getting that bit of intel, but they're all congregated together, so they don't quite know exactly how the laning's going to be, so we'll see if there's going to be any sort of audibles played, but here we go. It's going to be the 0-minute mark. 2 runes are going to pop up. Thank you very much, 6.82, but what we're going to see here along the top lane, it's the bounty rune bottom. It's going to be the invis, and it's going to be snagged up by MMY, and well, maybe they're percolated about the idea of potentially going aggressive. He drops off the wards to a Senior Leshrac, and maybe we'll see him go a little aggressive here. Rubik can definitely get it done, and he even has a smoke, so they're looking to move early here.
Yeah, and the Invis rune is a rune you usually see somebody go for a first blood with on, like, say, the mid laner, but in this situation, you have Dendi who has phase shift first, and if he gets a lose your orb as well, it's pretty much impossible to really get that kill. I think he took the Crypt Swarm damage there. Phase shift, very difficult against Crypt Swarm because the animation, the projectile is so fast. The animation is slow, but the projectile obviously makes up for it. And this might be a tough lane for Dendi if he gets caught out. So we'll see how things turn out here. And already 3 last hits going the way of Sylar. And he'll just look to get up to his level 8 Witchcraft and level 4 Witchcraft, level 4 Crypt Storm, and do some massive damage.
So bottom lane, Havos knows something is fishy. I actually didn't mean to pun that one, him being Slark. But he knows that someone's missing. It was MMY, but he does make his appearance known. So he's not going to get over aggressive as far as going for last hits and get caught out potentially with a telekinesis into a stomp, follow that up with a split earth, and well, this is going to look like a very sticky lane here for Havost if he gets caught out at any point in time. He can be severely locked down, so might not have to worry about that. We already see some rotations to come. They're not investing the smoke just yet, but if they do get a telekinesis into that split earth, even on Dendi, it could be a bit finicky. Follow that up with a silence. He doesn't get silence yet, but with enough lockdown, this puck could fall.
They're looking top lane. They did smoke rotate all the way from their own jungle. They're going to frostbite into the arrow first, it looks like. We'll see what happens here. Right click going through. Yao can time walk away. And but where's the arrow?
Oh!
It's going to fly. It's going to hit on Yao. Boom. Headshot, but they have no damage to get the kill. Vangscore has to back away solemnly.
Yeah, unfortunately, just not quite there. And, Crystal Maiden did try to set it up as much as possible. They were anticipating the leap away, but even if with an arrow to follow up, it's not like they have a whole lot of right click or additional heavy burst to really get something going. They're really looking to try to get Havost here on this bottom lane, but regardless, they are zoning him back. He's got 4 CS, though. Considering how much he's fallen back, he is finding a fair amount of CS, but it's all about the Centaur right now. 12-1 on this off lane. He's going to go for a Blink Dagger pretty quickly here, and there's your arrow to fly out. Not going to happen on the mid lane.
And this is just a really good start. If you can get this kind of farm in July, that's huge. Your Faceless Void can always catch up, and for the most part, his early game is going to be a walking Chronosphere. Yeah, you'd like to get Treads, maybe a Mask of Madness, but still. In July, getting Tranquils into, although stomped up, but there's no follow-up here from Fade, so.
They're just harassing a bit. They're just showing that I'm the big man hero, right, buddy? And just kind of scaring back. Oh, he cuts through the trees. He wants it now, though. Lift straight up and down into a split earth. Can they burst it down? Can he get the chomp? No, the pounce away does save Havost, so a little close right there, letting him know, hey, don't get too comfortable. We're going to go ahead and try to beat the hell out of you. But they don't take him down. In July, will pull out his salve and promptly heal back up. Meanwhile, touching base with mid lane, it is Dendi, 14-7. A matchup against Death Prophets, 13-1. So relatively even as far as CS goes. And for the off-lane Phonic Nature's Prophet, he's 12-10. So that's an impressive amount of denies. And in this patch, denies mean a whole lot more. So definitely tough times right now for Yao on the Faceless Void.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's one thing that's going... Oh, God.
Oh, I'm on fire. That escalated quickly. In the bottom lane, First Blood going to be caught out there by Vanscore as they... on Havost. Man, I'm all over the place right now. Havost does end up going down. It's a 1-for-1 trade, so no, Vanscore did get a kill. That just got escalated real quick.
Yeah, that just got out of control. Looks like arrow was exchanged. Double Edge coming out, obviously, from July, doing the brunt of the damage. Mid lane, FNG is looking for a Frostbite. What can they really do against Sylar here? We're going to find out here.
We'll see. Frostbite up, or jaunting forward. Actually, they have really nice damage. One more auto attack. They got it. Sylar does fall in the mid lane. That's going to help out Dendi significantly here. So we're questioning FNG and on this Crystal Maiden kind of a pickup, but they get it done. So roaming CM comes into effect there, taking down the Death Prophet.
Yeah, this team needs to get something done early on in the game, otherwise her effectiveness is going to wane. Get some items, maybe get towards something that can help you cast your... Oh, MY looking for Dendi. He's got the Invis rune.
On his lap right there, Invis. Up there they go. There goes the lift. Can they get the elusive puck? Nope. Nice sidestep. Wow. Avoids the split earth, and yeah, that's what happens when you try to get a puck. He is just slippery.
He face shift not only the Crypt Storm, but the Split Earth as well. Then he's just like, yeah, I didn't even take any damage from that. It's not even a problem. So, and there was also the rotation from Vunic as well. He TP'd in, looking to maybe try to turn that fight around, but didn't even need to do so. He just jaunts away. Nice play coming out from Dendy there. As I was saying for this Crystal Mage, she needs to get involved early, otherwise she's just going to be pretty much useless. She's not a support that scales super well into the late game. You have to get kills early on in this game, whereas Rubik with Spell Steal, and even Leshrac with tower pushing, they're a bit more useful than this Crystal Maiden will be in just a couple of minutes, so...
There's a smoke. It's a soul smoke. Crystal Maiden blazing it up all by her lonesome. You got to be able to pass that thing every once in a while, Maleda, and she goes ahead and comes in top lane looking for another kill here on Sylar. They would love to grab that one. Dendy is level 6 and has Coil ready to go, so this could be a nice quick pickoff here if Sylar is not careful.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go down twice. They're going to pop the Dream Coil, though, and this could be bad. Crystal Nova coming in, the Illusion of Frostbite. Sylar is going to get blown up. The right click, one more coming out from Dendy will get the job done, and just phase shifts the tower. And again, there's 1,500 gold on Dendy right now. He's going to have such an early Blink Dagger if he wants it. Beautiful.
This is great. This is like a throwback to old school, like top-notch Dendy play right now in this puck. And he's getting great assistance from FNG right there. Back-to-back takedowns on Sylar. A really rough thing for a Death Prophet. But I say that, and I've seen horrific starts from Death Prophets. I'm talking 1 and 7 early in the game, and still managing to come back and take the game and just be a big force. Just because of Exorcism alone and just her skill set is just that good. So can't really ever count out a Death Prophet, but definitely a big, big thing for Navi to have this puck get farmed up so early.
Yeah, that right now they're almost playing this like a duel, and where Sylar is getting pressured from not only Dendy, but as well as FNG. And the good thing is FNG can just run back to the jungle and frostbite some creeps, get some levels going his way, get some experience, get some gold. And on top of that, the more impressive thing is that Dendy is not only getting kills, but he's farming effectively as well. But top lane, maybe
they're making a go here. They're going to pull out the charge right now. They grab the fun and kill, and they get to take it down. Big takedown right there for the side of Navi as they get the swift takedown once more. Funnick, though. Fortunately, for the first time, the LGD gets a really nice takedown.
Yeah, that's a big pickup. I mean, that's a very farmed Nature's Prophet, and he's only going to get more farmed as the game progresses. So might as well get Yao involved, get him his treads, his poor man's shield. And now with 28 last hits, he's starting to catch up at what was kind of a rough early game for him. We'll see how things change here as we hit the 7-minute mark. Dendy, again, very close to the Blink Dagger. It looks like that is what he'll be going for. And he pretty much has it with another couple of creeps here, assuming he doesn't die, because MMY and Faith are on the high ground now. So.
Yep, and Sylar got his level 6. Not leveling up the Exorcism, though. Wants to reserve it. I was thinking maybe they go for something, but now they go in. But this time they have backup. They're going for Sylar once more. They actually burst him down. It's actually a double kill for Dendy. That's Silence doing work, but the rotation from Yao moves in. He gets a nice chrono, wants the bounty, and does get it. Return fire coming out from LGD. And Faith falls. Promising trade right now. Havost into the mix as well. Once Yao gets sprouted up. Arrow to fly. Very nice stuff. And a good grab as Navi able to get fantastic work done in the mid lane. Vanscore with a double kill. Trian's going to be popped out. They want to add some pressure on this tier 1.
Beautiful play from Navi. They do get the double kill for Dendy immediately. He gets Chrono, but guess what? He buys out. He buys everything. Not only does he buy a Blink Dagger, he buys a wand as well. He pretty much lost no money for that gank. Yeah, he gave some away to Yao, but at the same time, they turn around, they get the kill on Yao as well. Aggressive play coming out from Funnick just to get in there, help his teammates out as well, put some pressure on the tower, at least just try to. They chip down the tower a little bit, they get a couple more kills, and they're in the driver's seat. Navi are already looking fantastic. And Hobos is yet to do anything really down in this bottom lane. He's just farming away. And that's good because he had a bit of a rough lane, but now he's pretty much almost tied within July, who is getting free farm down in this bottom lane for some time. So yeah, good stuff coming out from Navi.
He was a part of that mix in the mid lane for a bit, just there to be able to have a little tip, maybe a few punches thrown, but then he returned promptly so back to that bottom lane because he knew there was nothing, no contention at all. Now he has the time to free farm it up, and this is where Slark, like, Puck has an excellent early start to this game, but they want to have Slaughter be there right in the mix, right behind it. And look at this. They pull out the mid-lane shadow here. I don't think it was seen. They pulled back, and it was Puck. But Puck now moving in front. If he does reveal himself, this could give something away. Yeah, they see it. They know something's up right now. So I'm imagining all lanes of LGD, they're going to play a little more reserved, as it looked like Navi were considering making a go on Yao in the mid lane, but not going to be so lucky.
I like the idea from Navi. There's no Chronosphere up for another couple of seconds. They wanted to make something happen, but there's nobody bottom, which I think is what their original idea was. And then Yao, obviously, seeing the Moonlight in the mid lane just backs up, so he's not caught out of position. But that's okay. You can just use that Moonlight Shadow whenever it's on cooldown. You don't necessarily need it for every fight, but it certainly would be nice to have. I just like the idea of it. They are giving free farm to July top. His Blink Dagger is going to be pretty close to done as well. So this is going to be the battle of the early Blink Daggers. Who can make more happen with it?
Yeah, and one thing to not count out is LGD and their initiation. With Faceless Void, of course, in his leap in Chrono, and then now in July getting much closer to that Blink Dagger, they can turn the tide of this game rather quickly with a swift set of jump-ins and a quick takedown if they catch anyone isolated on the side of Navi. And it looks like Faceless Void is moving on forward. He could be building his Mask of Madness next, which would definitely enhance his damage output a lot more in set ultimate. So for now, though, he banks away from this bottom lane. Going to get scouted out from this very weird-looking Treant down here in the bottom lane.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Well, now it's really just time for, I think, Navi to maybe be a bit more aggressive here. They have Denny's Blink Dagger. They're getting some farm on the Slark now. Salah's gonna get maybe caught out by Denny. They're gonna TP in. Dreamcoil's gonna go. Look at the damage waiting rip. Sattler gets blown up.
Rinse and
Look
repeat.
at that burst damage is ridiculous.
Especially when you're at this point. Puck, just the heavy burst that he's able to lay out there. Man, Death Prophet cannot really hold a candle at all to really what Dendy rather is putting out, and he's paying the price for it. Still though, 0-4 though start for Sylar. Rough times for this Death Prophet. Not ideally in the position you would love to be in. By now, hoping to get the early makings of your Yule Scepter, I would imagine, but it's going to be a little bit further off than ideally you'd like.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, it's not even necessarily about how far back he is in terms of his gold. It's more so about his actual farm. Ooh.
A little bit of
Or
Matrix
his actual
right
levels.
There. Yeah. Bit of a sidestep.
You look at level 7 for Death Prophet, and she doesn't have anywhere close to that ultimate, and I think it's really important. You have to get those levels. You have to be effective, and she's not going to have level 2 anytime soon. But gank coming in mid. We'll see if LGD can at least get something going here.
Yeah, they would love
Faith
to
and
use
MMY
this
desperately
Blink
need levels, too.
They want it. They want the Blink Dagger. They want to use it here in July. They're smoked up. They don't see an opportunity here in the mid. Puck is just going to be a little too elusive, and they think backup's going to be there. But top lane, they see a prime target advance score, and they want to get it here. They're moving on up.
He knows.
Oh, yeah. Side shop. No one is safe. He's going to blink right over and get this one. Can they go? Big. Slam. They can get it. Lockdown. Quick leap. Gets him out of the mix right now. And ooh, he's stuck in the trees. Oh, a desperation. Pull out Moonlight Shadow. He has no TP, though. He's trapped in a bit of a corner, and there he goes. Gets blasted down and sawed out. Stampede return. It looks like they're going to use it as a retreat here. Havost. Jump forward. Not going to catch the mark, however. Uh-oh. Here comes a return. Chronosphere. Havost. Oh, that's not what you want to be doing. Not the exact pounce. FNG as well going to fall. Not the best engagement opportunity there for Navi, thinking they can get redemption for poor Vanscore, but they were all right there ready to go, and that Chronosphere follow-up plus the Exorcism, there was no standing a chance.
There was no reason to fight into as soon as Stampede came out. They just made the mistake there. They saw Stampede, they should have backed up. They should have just let Vanscore die, but they decided to fight. Havost doing what only Havost does. Well, at least Denny's going to get the courier out of this, so that's a nice little trade. And nothing on it, but still a nice little bit of gold going the way of Navi. And he makes a deep, deep mission successful.
Indeed. Just kind of doing that nice little side pass right there. Knows that he can slip through anyone and get anything done as he scouts out bottom lane. In July, a big beefy boy. He does have a coil. He wants it, though. Jump in, Orm, coil, follow up right now. Can he get it done with the follow-up here? Fuddick right there gets the Sprout to lock him in his place, but rotations of the bounty. Look at it, 3 TPs to get in here as LGD look to press on forward, and they don't want anything to do with this. So Funnick going to try to slip out and will get away. The silence is not going to be there regardless. Wouldn't have stopped him, but 8-6, still your score. LGD make full rotations to get nothing out of it, except save Centaur.
And then that's actually just huge for Navi. This gives them a lot of room top. Obviously, Yao still has no Chronosphere for another 33 seconds. They're somewhat safe unless they get some rotations top. Havost is building drums. He'll look to be a bit more aggressive here with that next item. Marana's going to be building a mech, which we don't see too often, but I like the choice coming out from Vanscore, although Mana might be an issue here, especially with Moonlight Shadow.
They're feeling it. And they say, hey, he doesn't have Chronosphere. They're going to pull it up right now. Can they get it done?
Here it comes! Boom,
oh, they got it! Nice grab right there. It's going to be as Faceless Void does end up going down. No more TP rotations as well as they committed most of them there in the bottom lane. This opens the opportunity for Navi to swiftly take this Tier 1 tower, and they should be able to get it with ease.
So despite that misplay on the top lane not too long ago, they're still very far in the lead right now with about 4,000 net worth, and that's going to change even more as they take this Tier 1 tower in the top lane down. Slark getting it. His drums are now done. He's got 1,000 gold in the bank. Dendy's still farming mid. That's without Dendy, by the way. That fight, that aggression top lane, they don't even need him 1,700 gold, and now you wonder what Denny's going to purchase. Maybe Yules, maybe start his Scythe of Thighs. We'll see what his next choice is.
World is your oyster. I like the Yules. I like to be the elixir of looseness. Plus, you definitely need it going against a faceless void. I think Yules is the definite choice right here. Especially if he doesn't get BKB early. Here we go, MMY. Gonna get caught out from Slark. This should be quick Slark food, but he's slipping away here. 22 life, he gets saved. Oh, Havos bursting apart from In July. And Exorcism also going to be committed for this one as they're trying to catch out Dendi, and they do. Chronosphere locks him in place. In July greeting him in the front. Oh, man, another disastrous engagement. Leshrek, the only casualty on the side of LGD up there at the top with Dendi overcommitting, but they lose both of their big cores for that one.
I'm surprised Funnick didn't commit to that. He's just kind of ratting it up in the bottom lane. He doesn't get the tier 1 tower, but he's still getting a lot of farm, putting a lot of chip damage on the tower. But had he TP'd in, they maybe get that kill for sure on MMY, maybe even take down In July, and at least spare Dendi from taking too much damage. But there's not much he can do, I suppose, so... Uh-oh. Sylar.
Lots of rotations.
He's coming in from LGD.
These guys love to move as a group. Arrow going to try to split them apart as they make a retreat, but nope, In July's right there, catches both! Even the one on the high ground, they don't even see that one. They don't want to commit, but they got what they wanted there, and that's taking down the Ice Queen. Ripping her down. Very nice. 10-9, new score here. LGD crawling back into this one. It was a very strong laning phase for Navi, especially in that mid lane. And now they're finding great kills. There's a jump forward, though. They want to return fire. Faith is taken down. Dendi with a great initiation right there gets the support in return.
Dendi, when he finds a pickoff, it's almost surgical what he can do with it. He just jumps in, silences, jumps out. Just easy kills going his way. Just positioning areas coming out from LGD and just really smart play from Dendi. And you'll see this happen every time he plays Puck. He'll be surgical with his kills. And he'll pick up an ultimate orb as well, so it is going to be the Scythe device it looks like. So the Hex is going to be valued higher than a Eul Scepter, which isn't necessarily a bad thing here.
No, certainly
Why?
not.
Look out, buddy. Lose your orb. John, Waning Rift, the right click, is it enough? Yep. Secure goal just for the kill. But look at the TP rotations coming in. There is a Chrono. No, not available. Mask of Madness. Phase shift down. Dendi, look out, buddy.
Oh, the bash.
Oh, the shot. He is going to fall to the
slippery.
urn, it looks like, though. Wow, what a phase shift. Still alive, but does finally go down.
He's making him sweat for it, though. He sees a window of an opportunity to catch out MMY right there. He jumps right through that window, but then he has to crawl back into the house at that point, and unfortunately could not get back inside. And, they capitalize on that one. Arrow going to fly out again. Fanscore not feeling his inner Cupid on that one, and it will swip between the two. So 2 down all day, and it was also Funnick taken down on the bottom lane there, as it looked like maybe Faceless Void was taken apart. I'm not too sure. That was simultaneous to the mid lane action.
I'm surprised Funnick's going for this build knowing the way that Navi plays. I would expect to see the Null Talisman build, which has been very popular lately, but we've also seen this transition back into the Phase Midas kind of build, which is fine, honestly, and he'll play more rat-oriented style build, but with the way Navi plays it, maybe doesn't make sense for them to do so. But we'll see how things turn out here. Meanwhile, a little bit gang squad from LGD.
Oh, yeah, they move in. Funnick is in the neighborhood, but it doesn't matter. There was a Crystal Maiden there, I think, briefly, as they catch her out and take her down, and Funnick sprouts out In July. Defensive Yules. They pull out the Exorcism. They might counter-initiate right here. So Navi, who've been caught by this many a time before, might need a second guess moving on in. Havos gets caught with a split earth. Can they catch up with him? Cryptstorm not going to be there, but a Chronosphere will. They catch out 2, and now they're going to hammer it home, and Havos will fall. Oh, very rough right now. Havos has fallen multiple occasions trying to make engagements happen, but LGD, with the big ultimates, really making him pay.
Yeah, this is starting to become LGD's game, and a lot of this is because they're just finding the fights with Chronosphere, and, well, Funnick is going to get caught out. TP, no way to test. Yeah, they had no Eul Scepter up on south. Actually, he had the Eul Scepter, he just couldn't use it. How unfortunate. And this is one thing that is keeping them in the game, is the split push is keeping them up in the net worth chart. You can see they're still putting pressure on the tower. They're getting plenty of farm for Funnick right now, who's second in the net worth right now, only behind Dendi, unsurprisingly, but if you lose a couple more fights like that for Navi, all of a sudden maybe the net worth chart evens up. But they do take the tier 1 tower down mid, so.
Yep. Nice quick tower takedown. That removes all 3 tier 1s for Navi. And LGD, they still got work to do. They haven't taken a tower yet. And they have a Death Prophet on their team. So there's a lot of income still out there on the field for LGD to just kind of grab up. But they've kind of been pressured a lot. They get picked off, their supports are getting constantly, and they're more focused on counter-initiating, getting the TPs out, and quickly rotating into the action and trying to make Navi pay. So they're not really focused too much on getting objectives thus yet. Death Prophet's got her level 2 ultimate now, so that becomes a lot easier for her, as now she's pushing out this top lane, while the rest of her team is looking to scavenge and see if they can catch anyone out. Dendy is nearby, but we'll see. Dendy might be baited into an opportunity, but no, he swiftly jumps back.
I think that's what you need to do. Dendy's gotten caught out a couple of times just looking for those solo kills, so maybe play a bit more passively for another couple minutes. Just let your carries farm up and continue to work forward. Another thing is also, you look at, there's not that much wardage coming out from Navi in the enemy jungle, so LGD are free to use their own jungle to farm up. They can push back past the river as well and try to go for a tower here. In fact, this tier 1 is going to be their choice with Exorcism. And now you have to wonder what Navi does in the back end of this. Do they push down the bottom tower, the mid tower? Do they try to take Rosh, or do they just continue to farm? Because they're not going to defend this tower. This tier 1's going to go down for free. It's an off-lane tower. So
easy takedown. Navi don't see Faceless Void. Maybe they think they can catch him out farming elsewhere, but no, look at this. They're moving to the Rosh pit. They don't really have the biggest amount of damage. This is going to take a bit of sweat right now if they want to take this one down. As
Radiant's top tower
FNG
is under attack.
walks on by and right by a ward. They know this is happening. Oh no, that's a Navi ward. But they're swifting on through right here, and yeah, with the Necro Book already acquired here, they pull out the Moonlight Shadow, and really, LGD, not on this one, instead. Look at all the TPs here, mid lane, this tier 2.
I think they realize that it's happening, but it's a bit too late. Or they're just trying to pressure down mid. Yep. Either way, I guess it's a tier 1 tower for Roshan, but Navi getting that is actually huge, and they're going to fight as well. Avones jumps in, Faith, and he's going to get brought down by the illusion. No, right click from Denny. Big stop coming in, telekinesis. Chronosphere going to be on too. Yeah, Denny's about to be Dunzo. There he is, Dunzo, and they will bring down another. Buyback coming in from Denny. Avone's still going to town. He still has the Aegis as well. 3 dead on LGD, and Navi just outlasting LGD in that team fight. Chronosphere and all. So nicely done for your Radiant squad.
Yeah, that turned out very nicely. FNG got a nice duration off of his freezing field during the Chronosphere. Ends up being a 3-for-1 with the buyback from Denty. But now they're adding pressure to this tier 2. They look like the early form. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they see in July and they just pounce. They literally just make the jump, and the 2 most slippery heroes in the game move on through and take down the big beefy Centaur. And Navi, when we were first kind of doubting how their motives were going to be in this game, they just bite back like that. And 16-14 going to be your new score. Still holding onto the net worth pretty significantly. This tower would definitely put them up there a lot further. Don't want the opportunity for this Death Prophet to be able to bring the game back in favor of LGD. Nice arrow snag, though. Sylar to fall, and he does. Nice snag right there. Havost jumps right back into a killing spree for himself. It goes right to town in this tower. He's got a Mithril Hammer. In stash held up here. Could be the early makings of his BKB. But no, they still want more.
That's Navi's motto. More, more, more. We want kills. Take Roche, go right for a kill. Who does that? Navi does that, and it works out for them perfectly. Avo still has his Aegis as well, and they want to make as much use of it as possible, especially with the new changes. 5 minutes, well, time to get some kills, boys. And Navi are looking solid. BKB's almost done for Ravos as well, which allows him to man up even further. They take a tier 2 tower, not only in the mid lane, but in the bottom lane as well. And suddenly their gold lead, their net worth lead is up to 7,500. Just as we thought maybe their effectiveness was going to start waning here in this mid-game. But they're doing rather well at 22, almost 23 minutes into the game here. And Fauna continues to farm away. He's going for a Scythe next as he has his Necro 3.
Yeah, LGD are going to need to reevaluate the game plan here. As only one more outer tower standing at 22 minutes. Now it's 23 minutes, but and it's very, very low. So they're going to be crippled dramatically. And Navi are going to look to spread the map as much as possible and really hinder the farm from LGD, keeping them back and into their base, not really allowing them to get anywhere to find the farm. So, and you got to preserve that farm for maybe your Void, maybe your Death Prophets. That means your supports are going to be getting next to nothing. So they're going to feel a little broke with just a pence to their name. It's going to be rough for them. And, well, there's that last tier 2 to fall. And now, with Dendy getting that much closer to a Sheepstick, you're going to even have to second guess Faceless Void. If he jumps in and gets a nice chrono but does not catch Dendy, he'll get sheeped up promptly so, and that whole game plan will just go down the toilet.
And that's the good thing that Yao's been doing this game, is that anytime there's been a Chronosphere, it's 99% of the time been on Dendy. He's been getting caught out with it. So Yao's Chronosphere placements have been on point there, and you're exactly right. You need to bring him down first and foremost. Something that we usually see from Chinese teams, especially when they play Rubik, is getting early Blink Daggers on their supports. And unfortunately for this game, MMY just hasn't had the room. He hasn't made the plays to do so. And this is the problem with the Rubik, is that if you don't have an early impact, you're not going to transition into that 50-minute Blink that you'll see FY or Fenrir pick up all the time. on Vici Gaming. So getting him involved is really important. But now that that time period is come and gone, it really comes down to a good blank stun coming out from Centaur, Exorcism, and even more so the Chronosphere, like we already talked about. The supports aren't going to make as big of an impact. Whereas Navi, you could still have a big freezing field coming out for the Crystal Maiden, although it is level 1. More so than anything, though, is going to be Vank Score with this mech just being involved in Moonlight Shadow and hitting a max duration arrow, which still has yet to pick up Starstorm, but he doesn't need really the burst damage, I think, in this situation. He just wants to have the mobility.
They want Havos here. They've been waiting in the woods long enough, and they want to take him down right here. They're waiting patiently. They would love to get some nicely timed initiations, but no, they second guess. They're actually going to smoke up and migrate elsewhere, shifting right on through up towards the mid lane. So kind of puzzled right now for LGD as far as what the game plan is going to be. Maybe coming together and make a death ball happen, but they're not going to be finding Navi anywhere on the top of that map, as Navi have already moved. They're pulling out their own aggressive tactics as the Moonlight Shadow is going to be dropped, and now they're going to sweep on through here towards the middle, but already Sylar leaving that area. So both teams trying to find something, but going to come up short, as Havos will just then instead opt farm in this mid lane instead. And there's your Sheepstick now complete on Dendy.
Yep, perfectly timed, exactly when they needed it. And Smoke of Deceit on LGD is pretty much, it's the universal sign of, hey, we need to do something right now. We're not in the best position. Let's try to find a kill. And they might find a death of their own, although the arrow does sail through and just misses MY by a little bit wide left to the Rubik. So, I mean, they're just going to back up into their base now, with the exception of Yao, who can just time walk away, and he will do so. And now this is where it starts getting difficult for LGD, because they're getting choked up in their base. They're trying to get out and farm, but you can see there's a couple of wards here in the jungle for Navi. They're starving out LGD, and they're making sure they don't get any farm on the map currently. And that's really important, because the more farm you give over to this Death Prophet and you give over to Yao, the better chance they have to get in the game. So, although Sylar does have his BKB now, and if they want to try to actively fight outside the base, that could happen. But
yeah, this is a big thing for them, the extra bit of life, and of course the BKB charge. Arrow going to fly, close there to Injuly, but not going to find its mark. But for Sylar now to be able to hopefully freely put the Exorcism out there and deal as much damage as possible could be a big return here for LGD if they want it. So as long as they can really get the most out of these team fights, ideally landing the best chrono possible and allowing Sylar to unleash her fury, this could be a big turnaround for LGD. And Navi, it's more about keeping control of the map. They're already taking away all this farm from LGD's side and really restricting them, suffocating them from as far as their true inheritance. So that was an arrow that was way off the mark there from Bansport catching on the creeps. But regardless, just little by little here, LGD moving as a group, the buddy-buddy system well enforced here, as a true Boy Scout would say, and they'll just stay close.
And the one thing I am concerned about for Navi right now is they have a lack of real physical damage, except for maybe the Furion in this position. Once you get BKBs up, especially on the Faceless Void, you already have one of the Death Prophet. If you get one on Injuly, that's going to be even worse, because they have a lot of magical damage, but Slark doesn't really do that much yet physically. He needs his Scotty, which I believe he's building now. And even then, you really have to rely on having a long-winded team fight, stealing a lot of agility with his Essence Shift, and just going to work there. But if you have BKBs that are starting to get popped for LGD, there's a good chance that you could turn a fight around. And with the new patch the way it is, I don't think I need to tell you that one bad fight could certainly make things a little bit more difficult for Navi. So
certainly not, and I know we have seen it many a time in a lot of these games. It's really at the point where it could be anyone's game if one fight does go dramatically in the other direction. And you know, it does look like Phonic. He's got a Sheepstick himself here, so some serious lockdown here. So if you catch now even Dendy in the chrono, Phonic will be right there to follow up with his own devices. So Navi have a nice thing going for him as far as farm. The 12K mark right now, so they're very wealthy. 17 to 14, really holding strong. They control pretty much the majority of the map. LGD have only taken one tower this game, so that just shows that they've been significantly crippled, congregated together in their own base, thinking what the next move is going to be for them. And I think their best bet might be just trying to defend the high ground, but how long are you going to have to wait it out here before Navi move in with a whole new set of ammunition and items?
Next Roshan, I think, at the very least. I don't, unless LGD make a mistake and they have somebody farming outside in their own jungle and they get picked off, I don't see Navi going for the high ground push. Then again, though, this is Navi, so who knows exactly what they're going to do. They might go with another set of items. They might just go now for all we know. But the good thing is, though, Roche is up in about 20 to 30 seconds or so. So if they just wait, they're a bit more patient, then they can absolutely take that. However, LGD.
Oh.
Wow.
They're getting a little close for comfort here for LGD, but they are feeling it. They're not going to let go and get lazy for one moment to get caught by a reckless arrow like that. They move on through forward. They know Roche is coming in relative future, so they're going to add pressure on this mid lane. They're actually going to pop out the exorcism here. They're looking to commit. They want to make a tower fall here. They've only taken one down. They need the extra bit of gold. Navi are considering defending here. The Moonlight Shadow's already popped, and the LGD don't know it. They know this is going to be bait here from Sylar. Arrow to fly, catches on Faith, jump forward. Havos is going to take Leshrek out of the picture immediately if possible, but same with FNG. Both supports to fall. Coil catches on one here. MMY going to be locked down, but they want to take down the other. Havos, the big damage from the Exorcism, getting locked down from that Faceless Void, helps LGD take down the precious Havos core. And a very nice turn of events right there for LGD. Nothing to really bring him back into this game, but definitely a prominent start, because if they move forward, they can take this tower. They might be able to consider moving back into Roche. Now, they don't have the benefit of the Exorcism anymore, but, oh, they're going to make it work for it. There's an arrow. It lands on in July, but here's Havos. He's buybacking. He wants to play. He gets Yulesed up in the air, but he's moving on forward. Gets quickly brought back down in July, in big trouble, and they're going to have to hand him over. So now a 2 for 2. Counting the buyback of Havos. Jump forward. Blink from Havos right now. Getting right into it. MMY steals the pounce, leaps out of that sprout, and the TP. Oh, the arrow! Right at the last second takes him down. Nice snag right there from Vanscore. Shifting down below. It's time to do Roche, baby, and Havos is first into the pit to make this one happen.
Great buyback. No Chronosphere, no BKB. Sabo says, listen, we've got to go now, especially with Roshan up. This is not their opportunity to get back into the game. This is our opportunity to finish it. LGD will buy back on MMY. Meanwhile, you have Centaur still down. Will they fight this Exorcism? Certainly not up. Another 36 seconds here. He will have his BKB, but this is a problem. They're going to get caught out. Here comes Yao. No Chronosphere. FNG. He does pop the ultimate. He gets bashed once they still bring down that poor Death Prophet. Yao trying to get out. BKB about to go down, and it will. He has Time Walk Sprout. Going to come through. Time Walk away to the other side of the river. Meanwhile, Dandy Johnson way. Buyback coming in. There's the Drew Goal. Only on defense. Spell was stolen.
Oh, no!
But there's the arrow snipe. He hits him in the head. Dandy gets a double kill, but there's the Chronosphere. Well, where's the follow-up? Dandy taking a lot of damage. Angeli jumps in, stop up. Dandy in trouble. Double edge. He's going to fall. The buybacks are coming out. A fast, hot, heavy fight coming through. There's the Exorcism. You got to leave, Havos. You just fought back. You can't afford to go down. Although, did they get the Aegis? Yes, they did. Wow. What a
big
fight.
turn back for LGD at the back end of that one. A lot committed forward is 2 buybacks from their side. So a 3 for 3 all day, counting those buybacks. But LGD happy to get it back in their favor, but that's it. Still Aegis, though, in the hands of Havos. And he'll be able to move on forward. So I don't think Navi are too taken back by that. An Exorcism already committed here, so perhaps when Navi's troops are rallied up and back from the dead, they can move together and try to make a push happen here with those ultimates down.
Well, for Navi now, it seems like their job is just a split push. Funnick is sitting here in the backside of the trees, and he's doing just fine. You've got Havos farming away. I think at this point, that you got the Courier, you got a team fight going your way, you wasted buybacks, Chronosphere, a couple of BKBs multiple times, you got the Aegis, you got everything you wanted out of that fight. And really now it just comes down to sitting back, farming, and just taking what LGD give you, and eventually trying to break the base. And Scotty should be coming out here for Slark in just a couple of moments. That buyback did put him back a little bit, but his second ultimate orb, now he's not too far off from getting a Scotty, so.
Yep, and net worth still well in favor here for Navi as they have the 15K mark right now and proceed to farm it out on their side of the jungle. For LGD, they move together. They're going to wait for these Exorcism, Chronosphere to be back up and available right here before they move on to the next fight, and it's looking really rough for them. They would love to keep the pressure outside of their own base, because if they get swept through, Navi can move on in and really hit them where it hurts. And for now, they're going to step on back. The Courier back in the fray right here. Funnick already adding pressure on the top lane, doing your Nature Prophet thing. Moving the Treants on in there. They're going to quickly burst this down with the Crypt Swarm, but here we go. They're all moved together here inside the LGD, looking to pull out their potential last set of defenses. Vanscore would love to start things off with a nice arrow if possible, but I don't know, man. It's going to be all about the execution on this one and who could get caught out. I mean, we've seen A big turn from some of these Chronospheres, followed up with Grid Exorcism damage. And it can be a bit rough, but if they don't find that right opportunity, Navi can roll right back on through them. They have plenty of lockdown to work with on their side. And it's going to get a bit hairy here.
Yeah, if LGD take a fight here in another couple of minutes and they lose the fight, the game's over. They don't have buyback on pretty much all of their more important heroes, with the exception of Void, who should be able to farm it up just in time. So I'm surprised Navi aren't making a bit of a more aggressive push here, but I think it's really that Scotty that Havost is waiting for before they push in. By the time he gets to Scotty, the Aegis might be expired, so just that give and take kind of thing for Navi right now. Again, you can continue to split push for Funnick. He's getting pretty farmed at this point. Scythe, Midas is still up. He's got the Demon Edge. Looks like he's building into, I think, a Daedalus at this point. Maybe an MKB. I don't think so, but we'll see.
If you don't mind, Mod, I'm going to rehost this call. It's starting to sound like you're talking through a tin can right here, so I'm going to go ahead and just hang on up on you and get you back in here. So I'm going to hang up on this boy before a fight breaks out here. Get a new call in. Hello. Hi, how you doing? This is.
I'm good.
There we go. That's the Mod I know and love. Okay, very nice. Yeah, you were getting a little. You were getting further and further into the robot realm right there, but we got you back.
It's almost like this program that we're using is just a complete piece of garbage or
yeah,
something.
but everyone uses it, Mott. There is no way we're going to be leaving it, regardless.
I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just I don't know. I don't know what else to do about it.
It's all right. We're getting breaches here. Bottom lane, Havost looking to ascend the staircase and try to do some damage on the Tier 3. He would love to make a fight happen. This Aegis is beginning to expire, and he would love to take advantage of that, but it's Funnick who might get caught out. Nice Yules into a stomp. Funnick in big trouble right here, and he will not make it out. So, lingering a little too long right there is Funnick, and they make him pay. And now Navi second-guess making a push happen altogether as they lose their comrade. I don't know. I feel like maybe Funnick should have been split pushing elsewhere, adding some extra pressure perhaps on the top lane during that time.
Yeah, just a bit of a misplay there, getting caught out in that bottom lane. There's no real reason for him to be there in that situation. I mean, they're all going to be inside their base. I'm not sure what he expected, but either way, now you kind of have to wait for the next Roshan to be up for Navi. They're already having a bit of a rough time pushing up to the high ground, and this is not a good sign. Again, they still have this large lead, but no real way to pressure the high ground here other than Funnick and his Treants and his Necro Warrior and his Necro Archer. But that might be enough. So.
Already leaped into the trees right here. If they see him, they're going to jump in. They do. They jump in. They slam. MMY's right there. Fade Bolt, Earth Spirit. Oh, my God. That was terrible. Yeah, it was a bit of a misplay right there from Vanscore to get caught up on the side. And, well, they're going to segue themselves right into this Tier 1 tower, and Leshrek makes it all the easier. But nice late fortification pop. We'll delay them a bit while they continue to add pressure here on the top lane. But still, objective complete as LGD take down the Vanscore support and pick up a sweet Tier 1.
Yeah, and this is just, this is because the Funnick is dead. They have this opportunity to go outside of their base. There's no real trouble for them getting split pushed. I mean, there's a Crystal Maiden top and a Dendy Puck top. I mean, what are they exactly doing here to be able to push this lane? Havost was there, but I mean, they're not really pushing into the high ground. They're not threatening any real major push coming through. So without Funnick, there's nothing you could do. And it is going to be that MKB finished up for Nature's Prophet. So his damage is getting kind of ridiculous now. And we'll see if they can take a fight with him in the near future, or if they just split push with the next Roshan, continue to farm up and go from there, which probably is going to be the case.
Funnick's right click is getting pretty swole right now. So if he has the opportunity to kind of lay in the damage, it could surprise LGD as far as how much damage he will put out there. You don't really suspect your Nature's Prophet, at least at 38 minutes, to really be doing this kind of a right click. But he's going to make it work to their benefit right now, as their late game is going to be a bit in jeopardy. The longer this one goes, I can't help but feel like LGD are going to have more and more opportunities to kind of bring this one back, as the tankier Sylar gets with the heart now complete, moving on to his Shivas, and for the Faceless Void to be building in his own bit of damage. He's got Maelstrom now complete and 2K available. It's going to get a bit rough for him. There's your smoke. They're not even going to acknowledge the regen rune. They don't want to pop anything here, and they're scouting out, but they're not going to find any Navi in this neighborhood.
And the thing is, the Death Prophet had her level 3 ultimate for some time now, and this is very difficult to fight into. We saw the last couple of fights, Navi barely are coming out on top of these engagements, if at all. And that's usually because Exorcism is down or Chronosphere is down or something. But with these abilities up, there's not much you can do to fight into them. You've got to have Ghost Scepters, you've got to have ways to deal with the Exorcism currently. And it's just not really there for Navi right now.
Yeah.
They are split pushing effectively.
Uh-oh. Pre-sidestep, the silence is going to be there, but they can't quite commit. Ideally, maybe if they got the silence, but you're fighting into Exorcism, that's not what you want to do. But they consider making go, they commit the Stampede for it, and Navos, meanwhile on the side, does not catch the Faceless Void, so LGD get what they want, and they promptly leave. And they're happy to wait it out, maybe for the next Exorcism. Vanscore, valiant arrow to fly out. Ooh, relatively close right there. Would have loved to caught someone in the back end, but not going to be the case. Actually, but look at this. Funnick rotates in, gets the sheep, but eats a split earth from Yao, or from, the Leshreck. Yao gets caught out briefly and pulls out his BKB, jumping on forward. They quickly burst down FNG here, and there we go. It pops out the Chronosphere, catches on 3, and he's going to go for Havost. Right-clicks to Abundance here, and there's your Havost pounce to try to get away from this one, but they're pursuing on forward. There's your Blink and in July. Can't quite commit the stun just yet. Oh, the slash not going to be there. Havost pounces the other way, and, well, into death. Ugh, that didn't work out too well. So now 3 down here, and LGD have opened this game right back up for themselves as they move on forward. We got another minute, though, for Exorcism to be available as they commit a lot, but with Leshreck in your arsenal, they could still take these buildings very, very quick. And Havost and Funnick both have buybacks available. If they could at least bait out these buybacks, that'd be very big for LGD.
Yeah, time to force the buybacks, go to the high ground, then go back, wait for Chrono and Exorcism to go, and then boom, try to take Roche or something. This is now LGD in command here, and if they take a tier 3 tower, it'd be absolutely incredible that they've gotten back in this game.
To make a go, but a jump back here. In the meantime, Havost gets caught out with the Yules. Now MMY, the support will be taken down, but it is a nice defense coming out from Navi that does hold the ground, and LGD are forced to make a run, and, well, Navi wants to make him pay. They're moving on forward. A BK beat Sylar with a TP is going to allow him to make a swift escape, and, well, Navi can only manage to take down the Rubik, but still, LGD, they take down the tier 3, and the creeps are left behind to kind of do early damage on this rack, so still big favors for LGD.
Yeah, I mean, just you see a Rubik get caught out. That's all you really get off the buyback of Slark. That's not much. They need to get Roshan, and luckily it's gonna be up soon, but it is max duration Roche, so for Navi, this is kind of, you have this impending feeling of dread and doom, essentially, if you're a Navi fan right now, because it just feels like, I mean, you look at the net worth chart, and look how far it's fallen since, you know, those last couple of engagements. It's actually just ridiculous.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about. The comeback factor is very much real and alive, especially in 6.82, and especially with the Death Prophet in the game. It's, you know, it was Navi's game there for quite a while. Huge farm in their favor on your Dendi, on your Havost there, but now it just seems to be slipping away for them as the late game approaches. They really don't know what they could do to prevent this heavy push assault that's now coming in their direction. It was, I felt like not too long ago that I was talking about how LGD had only taken one tower, but now, quickly, the towers begin to crumble, and they've already done the first damage inside of the base in this game.
That's the real shocking thing, but at the same time, not so shocking. There's just no high ground pressure unless it's from Funnick, and even that has just been neither here nor there, just because there's so many ways to really just catch him out of position. And you really have to worry for Navi right now. Roshan is going to be the next point of contention, and you've got to take this if you're either squad. You cannot let another Aegis, you cannot let another Cheese go to Navi's side. And for Navi, if you give them an Aegis and Cheese, that gives them exactly what they need to get back into this game. So they're just going to push down mid, though. They have Exorcism, they have the Chronosphere.
Yeah.
At least push this lane in and make them deal with it, and then go for Roshan afterwards.
No, this is looking great here for LGD. They move together as a group, and I think they know that Roche is up, and they would love to get a hold of that if possible. As Silo's already making the early rotation towards that direction, but yeah, Navi got to be aware as well. They put down the ward so they could see said movement, and they already scout out Silo, making the rotation up to the top. They're going to get these creeps out of their area, push them well back, at least to the river, and then from there be able to segue themselves into potentially Roche. But for now, it's their game for the pickings. The longer this goes on, LGD got to feel a lot more comfortable about it, unless somehow Navi, on the back of maybe Funnick, pulling out some serious side push, which I'm not seeing happen thus far. You know, they could try to take it back, but we're back even here, 24-24, and even though Funnick's the head as far as net worth, it's LGD who are reclaiming the game.
And how are they going to deal with Silo now? He's got a Shiva's Guard, he's got a freaking Heart of Trask, I mean, he's got a BKB, this guy's the tankiest here on the freaking planet. How do you kill this Death Prophet in this position? You're not doing that much damage coming out with your Slark. You're not really doing much damage with your, you know, magic coming out from pretty much anybody, because there is the magic community, is the BKB coming out for Sylar. So, at this point, it's really just LGD, like you said, it's their game to lose, I think, at this point, because the game, it's late enough now where they're in a pretty comfortable position. And Havost doesn't have that much farm. I mean, he's like 4th on the net worth chart. Even if he was up top, maybe he has some decent items to do damage with. Scotty is not nearly enough, and this is the problem with Blink, you know, Tread's drum build. Just doesn't give you that much in terms of right-click.
You jump in and try to get the party started, but the exorcism is like too many guests at your party, and you're just overcrowded, and you got to start kicking people out, and it's just ugly real quick. You got a hot mess on your hands, and well, it's all LGD as they promptly jump into the pit. They're ready to make a fight happen right here, but we already saw the ward drop down here. If they give any sort of bit of information, Navi's going to know this is happening. Well, with these Treants for sure creeping on in here, they're like, hey, we know what's going on here. We don't like it. And they move on in, and, well, Navi, it's their opportunity if they want to try to counter this one. But look at the big damage here on Roche. Oh, Havos catches out a Leshrek here on the side, trying to make a go on Faith. Same with Dendi. But they don't get it. They can't take it down yet, and already it's done. And oh, a jump in from FNG in desperation to try to get the Aegis, but it's not going to be thankful on that one. And wow, big chrono already right-clicking here on Havos. This is really bad right now. No buyback, 104 seconds down. Big burst gem on the deck. 3-for-1 trade. LGD looking really good in this one. Wow.
Yeah, this is going to be the turnaround. There's only 2 buybacks, and one of them is not Havos coming out for another minute or so, plus 200 gold on the backside. This is going to be a set of racks, I think, especially when Exorcism is back up ready to go. They don't even really need it. However, Funnick is doing his job. He's down bottom. He's split pushing effectively, and that means that Death Prophet has to deal with this. But with just Yao alone and the amount of damage he does, they can easily take this set of racks. However, there will be this clip up and available. And only 2 alive, though, coming out from Navi. Very tough to contest this push.
Death Prophet buys a boots of travel, probably going to push back this bottom lane, and then he can freely join his allies in this mid lane if he wants to. But that's your mid set of racks to fall here is Navi now. Really, really in trouble as they are already in the lower bracket. And if they fall in this best of 3, they are out of the tournament. And LGD looking to bounce back from a rough start yesterday. So looking very promising for them, and maybe Navi need to start considering making sure they don't be going against any sort of Death Prophets in the near future.
I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that what is this Crystal Maiden, what is this Slark exactly doing in this game? I feel like Slark was very effective early on, and that's a fine choice, but then it's the problem with the Crystal Maiden. You're not really getting her ultimates off. I mean, you've seen maybe 2 or 3 ultimates, and she's 0, 7, and 8. She's got 8 assists, that's fine, but I don't know. It just feels like her impact is really waning. Whereas Vankscore, I think, has done a bit more. He's gotten his mech up. He's gotten some kills. His arrows have done some work. There is the Aghanim stuff now coming out for Dendi, so they have that item to work with now. But again, a set of racks down, and there's still tier 2 towers left, both top and bottom, so LGD are just going to take this slow probably, and July has a heart as well as a BKB. You can't even kill this guy. He's got almost 4k health. He's a monster.
Damage output on Navi is not going to really crack the shell that LGD have built for themselves at the back of all these big tanky heroes right now. And In July is confident and happy to lead out the front charge here for LGD as they're going to easily take down this tier 2 like it's nothing. And there's your net worth back even. So everything that Navi worked for in the early mid game is falling away from him as the Exorcism pops, and it looks like LGD are going to go for the final blow here. And, well, it's all about the defense, and can they hold? I don't know if they can, though. Navi are going to really try to rally up on this one if they want to try to. And they're not even pulling out a defense, not yet at least. Moonlight Shadow going to pop your Exorcism already doing big damage. Jump in, though. And if Bose gets caught out swiftly from that chrono, no answer for it, and they just begin to right-click him down once more. He really wants to take down MMY, but he's overcommitting on this one, trying to divert their attention elsewhere. Arrow to fly out. Will actually catch on Sylar, so Havos trying to use that opportunity to slip away. Pounces up and above to get away from this one, but look at mid lane right now. Funnick sneaks himself into the base, and look at this. He moves on through. He's going on for the other tower right now. Trying to even things up. Sylar TP's on through, tries to punish Funnick right now. Faith there as well to get the Yules off. Meanwhile, a jump on through. Another chrono with the refresher happening here on the upside of things. They're going for Havos. Meanwhile, you can see Sylar does end up taking down Funnick. Oh, a valiant effort there for Navi to try to bring the game back. They do take down the mid set of racks, but I don't think it's going to be happening as LGD do big damage still on that top lane. 1 rack's only to stand In July, trying to make his way out. Swift Blink takes him into the trees where he does get stuck, but I don't think Navi know he's there.
That's more than Navi should have gotten in that engagement. That's way more than they should have gotten. Oh, In July, that's a bit of a tricky force. He stampedes away as well. He'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, they got the melee racks top. That's great. They got a lot of damage to the range racks, which won't regen. But they didn't need to give away that tier 1 or tier 3 in the set of racks mid. And Phonic tried to get out. There was no way he was going to survive. But still, he got a lot done there. But again, it comes down to LGD. Okay, we've got our ultimates ready to go in just a couple of seconds. Refresher might be up pretty soon for the Faceless Void with his Chronosphere. That's about 90 seconds away. And then he still has the cheese as well. They can go again. They probably will. They definitely want to take down this tier 2 tower. Make sure that's not available for Navi. But this has just been a really great comeback coming up from LGD. They're playing so well. They're hitting their Chronospheres. They're playing well. They're getting all the items that they need. And the supports, even Faith is starting to become a nuisance. Just with Split Earth alone and even Edict and Pulse Nova, it's very difficult to deal with. Plus, he's got the Ghost Scepter, so you can't burst him down. And here we go, back up to the high ground.
Oh, the Aegis, though, is going to be claimed. They will not have the benefit of that, but I don't think they even need it, Mott. Oh, they're trying to flank him from the north. I don't know how lucky they're going to be about this one, but there's your Chrono. Going to be caught out. Siler immediately takes down the flimsy Crystal Main support, and a Coil actually catches on 4 here on the backside, but really, what is going to follow right there is In July is like, move over, you little fool, and, well, takes him apart. They move themselves into the base, and this is going to be a quick Rax takedown right now. Havos trying to go toe-to-toe with In July, but here comes Void jumping on in there. They lift up Havos, throw him right back down, and they're happy to go ahead and swing him apart right now. This is going to be a good game here. Navi are going to fall in game number 1, and LGD pull out a very nice comeback in this one, and I want to say I'm surprised, Mott, but really, it's not the first time I've seen this happen.
No, you really shouldn't be surprised at this point. Really solid play from Navi early on in the game, but the heroes were not meant to take it late. Once you get a Death Prophet and the Faceless Void, and even a Centaur farmed up, you're going to win the game 9 times out of 10 against that lineup. What I do want to talk about is that even though they lost that game, Denny still had extraordinarily impressive plays.
Yep.
A lot of the time, he picked up this Ethereal Blade, which I saw early on, but I failed to mention it. And actually, a couple heroes picked up this Ethereal Blade. So where if anybody got caught in the Chronosphere like Havos, they would just essentially Ethereal Blade him so that you couldn't take right-click damage in that Chronosphere. However, with all of that being said, it didn't matter anyways. They were still getting kills outside the Chronosphere. They were running over them with Exorcism. They were running over them with Team Fight, with Yao right-clicking, and obviously Centaur jumping in and stomping. Really great play from LGD. Let's see if they can take it 2-0, or if Navi has some fight back in them.
And Navi looking to clinch on their tournament life here in the next one. We'll be right back for game number 2. This is the World Cyber Arena 2014. A huge prize pool up for grabs right now. It is myself, Coddle Guy, bringing you the cast from Beyond the Summit, but joining me is, of course, Mott. You can catch him over at MottDota on Twitter. Folks, we will be right back after a short break.